Hello, welcome to MPD TV. We're in the classroom this week and we're going to talk about stand electrics. Now, as you may know, your stand electrics at UK venues are not only dead expensive. If you've got to have an arm or a leg, you're lucky. Some people have to sell a kidney to pay for theirs. But they are ordered by the kilowatt or by the wattage. So you have, for your sockets, you have 500 watt, half a kilowatt. You have a 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt sockets. So that's your options when you're ordering sockets. Now, as they are so expensive, you don't want to order too much. And I'm just going to go through a simple method to make sure that you only pay for what you need and not any more, but also that you get enough so you don't have your fuse board tripping every 5 minutes when you're trying to sell to visitors on your stand. So I've got a few common items here. Coffee machine, the most snuck into the storeroom item ever. Tassimo machine. On the back here, behind the water tank, you'll find what we call a legend plate. And that's what you're looking for on all your items, is the legend plate, because on there it will have the voltage, it will have the amps sometimes, but usually you'll have the wattage. On a Tassimo machine, 1300 watts. So you're 1000 watts to a kilowatt. So 1300 watts is 1.3 kilowatts. That's for your Tassimo coffee machine. Nespressos are about the same. If you've got something that looks like it's come from Costa Coffee, then it may take a little bit more. Tell you a story about that another day. It's quite funny. Kettle usually takes a bit more. You can get different ratings of kettle. This is a fast boil one. And if I look on the bottom of the base, it tells me it's between 2.5 and 3 kilowatts. So I'm into about half a kidney there, because I need a 3 kilowatt socket, normally about 400 quid, but 300 to 400 pounds depending on which show it is. The worst offender for putting the lights out on the morning of a show is the Commodore Guardian Hoover. Now, it took me a while to find this one, but on a Dyson, it's behind the thing that needs emptying. And this tells me that's 700 watts. So it's not too bad. So you probably need a kilowatt socket clear to run that. So if you're going to run your Hoover in the morning, maybe turn the lights off first and plug your Hoover in, or turn something off so you're not pulling almost a kilowatt extra. Then you won't trip your circuit board. So how can we work this to our advantage? What the electrical contractor would like you to do is to order a socket for every piece of equipment. Don't do that. Work out what you've got, make a list. So let's say I've got my Tassimo. Yeah. With my Tassimo, I want a fridge because I want to keep my milk cold and have some cold drinks as well. So a fridge would normally be 500 watts. So that's 500 watts, half a kilowatt, so 0.5 kilowatts. And make a list of your items and start to group them. So my Tassimo will probably go next to my fridge. So add that up, 1.8 kilowatts. Instead of ordering a 500 watt socket for my fridge and a 2 kilowatt for my Tassimo, I can order a 2 kilowatt for both, because I'm within 2 kilowatts on the total draw, so I'm not going to overload that socket. Now, especially if you've got little bits and pieces, if you're running iPads and screens, those sort of things, you can often run everything off a 500 watt socket, including your lights if they're low power LEDs. So check your legend plates, tot it up, work out groups of items, and if you look at your stand, you might have some groups of items over in a corner there that you run off one socket, some over here that you run off another. They try and group them in areas on your stand as well. That will help massively. Now, what happens if you can't find the legend plate, or the legend plate is in amps, not watts? Simple calculation. Volts times amps equals watts. In the UK, your volts are 240. So if your legend plate is in amps, times your amps by 240. To make it easier, I normally do it by 250. That means my maths is easier, and I've always got a little bit of slack in that calculation, a bit spare. But let's say I've got a 4 amp piece of kit. So 250 times 4 is 1000, which equals 1 kilowatt. So I know I need a 1 kilowatt socket. Dead easy. So do your calculations, do check before you go to site, because as you will well know, if you order on site, if you need extra, then you're going to be paying another 20% on top, and you may well be waiting hours for an electrician to come and actually install your extra socket. So tot it up, work it out, group it on your stand, then you won't be ordering more than you need, and your lights won't be going out when you plug something in. That's it for this week. See you next time. Bye bye.